Greetings YouTube, it again is I, Asher Postman. I'm here in my studio in Nashville, Tennessee, which also happens to be my bedroom, which is not important. But what is important is today we are doing a breakdown of the vocals for my song Your Move, and it's gonna be a great time. So let's get into it. First things first, I record all the vocals myself here in my studio. I currently have a Slate ML1 mic, which I really like. And what I do is I steal one of these panels and make a little den here for recording. And this way I can kind of get my vocals consistent pretty much every time. All right, here's a project here. I'm gonna go through it. This is going to be a wild ride. There is so much happening, such a large project. This is definitely the most effort I've ever put into any vocal, and honestly, I forgot about a lot of the things that I did because it was all kind of in the moment. But I'm gonna do my best to explain and try to remember what I did. So why don't we start with the lead? So basically what I did first was just recorded like, I don't know, 8 to 10 different takes of every part and kind of comped it and made the best version that I could. So then I have this consolidated track that's the whole vocal just raw. And then I have these two processing channels through it. So this is what it sounds like.
I don't mean to speak this out of line.
And then I have these bunch of effects, just basic mixing stuff. You got EQ, compression, auto-tune, more EQ. I'm actually not going to dive into the specifics of how I edited this part of the vocal because this is more of a basic processing of a vocal, and I do cover that in some of my other videos, but I'm going to show you the extra stuff that I did to make it all crazy. So after I bounced that vocal, I have this other tab, which is the main arrangement, and here you can see I have all these chopped up vocals, and that's how I get it. That's how I got this gated effect that you hear in the vocal. It's literally just me taking that processed vocal and just chopping it up. This is what it sounds like.
I don't mean to speak this out of line. But the way...
Yeah, I just thought that was a really cool, unique way of doing a vocal that not a lot of people do. So that was the building blocks of the first part of this lead. So now I have this other unique channel, and it goes into another one as well, actually, that is going to do a lot more stuff to this vocal to make it more interesting.
I don't mean to speak this out of line.
So that's what it's going to be. So I'll show you what I did here. I have vocal splitter, which is kind of making a wide version of the vocal that I can kind of mix in with the mix knob, and that just adds a lot more dimension to it. And then I have some distortion here, and it's only, you can see it's only just a tiny bit mixed in if I put it all the way.
I don't mean to speak this
like that, but I just have it only a little bit on the mix. And same with this other distortion with raw.
I don't mean to speak.
And this is just like barely mixed in, but it's adding some distortion layers and making it more gritty. And then I have vocal synth 2, which all the way mixed in, it sounds like this.
I don't mean to speak this out of line.
And that's obviously really crazy, but I just dialed back the mix, and that just added a little bit more of an interesting tone to the vocal. Then we got OTT, of course, 50%. Pretty decent amount of OTT.
I don't mean to speak.
And then we just have some EQs and compressors, just adding some,
I don't mean.
just kind of balancing it out more. So then it goes into this other channel here that just has a bunch of mixing effects. I'll just go through a couple of them with you right now. I'm just using this limiter here as a gate, actually, just as a more natural gate. And then some EQ, taking out some highs, a little bit more, keeping it more shaped and just less harsh. And then I did this really cool trick here where I used Patcher and kind of had equal amount of the dry signal and equal amount of this other cool layer that I added with Serum Effects. So this is what that sounds like just with Serum Effects.
I don't mean to speak this out of line.
I just have this like all pass filter on it, and then some EQ and flanger. And then with this Patcher here, I have it going with dry signal as well, so it's just kind of mixing in both of those and adding just a cooler tone to the vocal. And then the rest of these are just like compressors and EQ type stuff, just kind of making it brighter or taking away some highs to kind of just keep it mixed and everything. And then at the end I have this limiter as well. I just found that when I smashed the vocal with a limiter, it just had this really, really thick sound that just sounded like it just glued it all together in a better way and made it like really up front in the track without me having to adjust volume too much, because it was just like almost like mastering the vocal. So yeah, with all those effects, it's a lot of weird stuff. I did a ton of experimenting. With all that stuff, it sounds like this.
If I could make you fall in love with me, you know I would. You got me with.
Just super mastered, super just wide, and has a ton of weird character to it. Okay, so in the chorus section, I have this falsetto lead thing, and I actually have it going through another channel before that same verse effects channel that I just showed you. And basically it just has like more auto-tune, more compression, whatever this is. I guess some more distortion and flanger and chorus and stuff. And so when that feeds into the other channel, it sounds like...
But baby, it's your move. Now it's all on you.
So that just sounds even like more thick and more interesting. I wanted the chorus to just like really shine with the vocal. The vocal is definitely the main part of the chorus. So as another layer in the chorus, we have this as a double.
Your move. Now it's all on you.
And I honestly couldn't find the original part of how I affected that. Like, this project is crazy. But what I'm pretty sure I did was I used the vocal splitter here, and there's this option to mute the source, so it's only the wide vocal. So then I have this other layer that's like really matched up to the lead vocal. It's almost the same, but then I have it like split off side to side and add some distortion to it. And that just made the single vocal just sound like one vocal, but just like super tight and wide. And then I chucked it into this channel and did some more EQing. And then I also used Maximus to limit it and saturate it and just clip it so that it just sounded super consistent and like in your face. So then together they all sound like this.
Your move. Now it's all on you.
Just super wide. Lastly, in the chorus, I have this other octave layer, which was originally just the same thing. And then I pitched it down an octave and then added a bunch of distortion, and it sounds like this.
Your move.
So all three of those layers together just make it really thick and like super in your face. And now we got this drop vocal, which is honestly just the lead vocal formatted down a little bit, and then just adding a little bit more mixing stuff and again limiting it like crazy just to make it super in your face. And as you can see, there's like these little chops here, and I like grabbed little pieces of breath and also just gated stuff manually, and it just gave it this really cool feel.
Your move. Now it's all on you.
And then again, halfway through, I have that wide double layer to make it even more like wide. And then when you mix those together, it's just really, really massive, which I love. So yeah, that was just a quick look at my project. I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing the process. I'm super proud of how it turned out. I put so much time into those vocals. It was just a time of experimentation for me, and I really wanted to kind of put all the detail that I usually put in just production into the vocal and kind of make that a part of the production. I'm actually giving away the acapella for you guys to remix and to listen to and kind of listen to all the nuances in the vocal. And I will also be giving away some samples from the production of this song. You'll be able to find all those resources on my Discord, and you'll also be able to find a lot of fun on my Discord. So if you haven't already, join it, link in the description. And also, if you're not already subscribed, dude, subscribe. It's not that hard. And that's all I got for this breakdown. I will see you next time. Peace.